Well, I'm finally out videoing again, and I'm at a location and trail that I haven't tried before. It's a really nice day. It was a little cloudy earlier, sun's out right now, but this place is called the Rabb, or Rabb. It's spelled R-A-B-B, house, and the Rabb Park, and the eastern Brushy Creek Trail can be accessed from here. So it's a really neat location, and I'll show you in the segment here. The playground here at this park is really nice for kids. It's got a lot of things to do. Kindly set up for handicapped kids as well. So really nice place to come visit. It's located on North A.W. Grimes, just north of the railroad tracks, right before you get to Highway 79 in Round Rock, and you turn east into the park, and it's a really nice location. More to come. Here's a beautiful picture of the Rabb house, and a lot of nice things that go on in there, but kind of let you see the rest of the playground here before I head off to the trail. This park is really an extensive playground, has an extensive playground area. It's a nice park. Quite a bit of parking, although it does get filled up quite often. But as you can see, they have a lot of places for the kids to ride their bikes. They have a little kiddie town that they can play in, and then just on the other side of that they have some playground equipment as well. So I'll show you that in just a few minutes. So for now, let's get started on the Brushy Creek Trail. I have to walk past these beautiful flowers here at the Rabb house on my way to getting to the Brushy Creek Trail here. Beautiful flowers. Very nice shady area with a lot of live oak trees. So even in the Texas heat of the summer, you can come out here and hang out in at least a shady area. May not be real cool, but it'll be cooler than the heat of the sun in the pasture. I didn't realize that they actually have a little amphitheater here behind the Rabb house, and it is right along Brushy Creek. So Brushy Creek is one of the larger creeks that flow through the Pflugerville / Round Rock area. It's really nice. Looks like we have a little dove walking through the grass here. I believe that's what it is. Of course, there are a lot of mourning doves, and I'm sure assorted other varieties in the area. But luckily it's not dove season currently, so I think the bird is safe for now. As you can see, the trail, at least so far, is concrete paved, so very smooth walk, and if you'd like to ride your bike, terrific place to easily ride your bike. One of the reviews I had read about the park is that they do have a lot of rest seating along the way, and so here we have a picnic table as well as a bench, and coming up on a nice little bridge. Well, for those of you who aren't aware, there are actual trains that go by on the railroad track, and you can hear the whistle in the background. While the train's going by, let's take another peek at Brushy Creek here. Banks are pretty high, and actually when it floods, Brushy Creek can get pretty darn deep. So this is about 10 feet above the creek bed. I'm surprised the creek is as low as it is. I don't know, yesterday in Pflugerville we had a nice little gully washer for a few minutes, but apparently not enough to raise the level of Brushy Creek too much. We mentioned a lot of benches along the way, so we're coming up on another shady spot underneath this live oak tree, and a very nice spot to sit down and take a break if you wanted to, and you can actually see Brushy Creek down in the bottom here. Very nice creek, pretty clear water. It does have a lot of the moss or algae that grows in the creek this time of year. I know back home in the hills of Missouri, as kids we were taught that as the algae grew, we stayed out of the water more often. But I don't know that it's harmful to anyone in this area. Well, we're coming up upon some concrete monolithic structure here. It really looks like the base of a bridge, but I don't know if at one time, there's two of them. I'm guessing there was a bridge going across the river at some point, and my guess would be that it was probably for the railroad. That's just a wild guess I have. Maybe we can prove it if there's a marker around here somewhere. I can see across the creek there's another one that's all covered with vines and stuff, so unless it was extraterrestrial aliens who built it, I suspect someone built it for a train. Train track years ago, who knows. Anyway, pretty neat. Let's get back down to the creek here and see what we can find. More shade for one thing. I'm surprised the sun's out as much as it is, because just an hour or so ago was quite a bit of shade, and it would have been terrific for taking pictures or videotaping. I don't know if you can see it, but there's a fairly large fish down in the water down there. Don't know what kind it is. I don't think it's a bass, so there may be quite a few fish in this creek. I did see a couple of guys with fishing poles, so if you're a fisher person and have your license, Texas fishing license, this might be a good place to try it out. In fact, I may need to bring the granddaughters down here sometime. This is a nice little place. The water's deep enough and clean enough that looks like there might be a few fish in there. Again, this is Brushy Creek, East Brushy Creek, just east of the Rabb house off of A.W. Grimes and close to the intersection of A.W. Grimes and Highway 79. Well, we just ran across some more folks on this trail, and that's the neat thing in Central Texas. In almost every trail, everywhere you go, you're going to run across people that are willing to chat with you, to talk with you. It's a friendly place. I can talk to people all day long, and so I ran into a very nice lady chatting about the Brushy Creek and the trail. It's a nice place. There's actually some fish in this part of the creek as well. And as you can tell, underneath that sycamore tree is a little deeper hole, which is a good place to try your luck at catching a fish. Notice there's a little birdhouse that's installed over here, and I wonder if there's any birds in it. What I've noticed in Pflugerville along the park, the Leland Creek, is the Boy Scouts or some volunteer group put some birdhouses there, but I have never seen a bird live in it. And this one actually looks like there might be a bird in there, or part of a nest. Can't tell. I don't want to get too close in case there is one. But another nice shady spot for it. For those of you who don't live in Central Texas, of course, there's all kind of oak trees and assorted other trees, pecan trees, but the live oak are generally prevalent. And of course, we have the cedar trees, which tend to cause a lot of allergy problems in the November-December time frame. There's some beautiful trees there, which I'm guessing are live oak. There's another type of tree that can look like a live oak, but it's actually not. Well, we have come upon some cacti. Let's take a look at it through the fence here. Like, this one's kind of beat up. I don't know if it's by birds eating it, trying to eat it, or some other issue. Got another one over here. Looks like it's a little more mature. Oh yeah. Certain times of year they have gorgeous flowers on these. Well, we're coming up on the quarter-mile marker here on Brushy Creek Trail east of the Rabb house. I think the trail goes on this side I think it goes for about 1.5 miles or so, if I read the information correctly. So let's see if we can follow it to the end. Well, we're coming up to an area where there's actually a stand of fairly large trees, and it's kind of unusual in Central Texas. The trees usually grow much shorter than places like Missouri or even East Texas, but for some reason these, maybe because they're right on the banks of Brushy Creek and they have access to more water, are fairly tall. So I'm not sure why, but they're gorgeous trees. And yes, occasionally a couple of bike riders come by. Got some more park benches for those who like rest stops along the way. Well, I just passed a couple and asked him how much further the trail goes, and he commented that it goes just a little ways further to the next road. But he also commented that you could theoretically walk all the way to the Kalihari Resort, and the Kalihari Resort is this gigantic indoor water park facility across from the Dell Diamond off of Highway 79. So maybe I'll try that someday. Well, we're coming up to a cross street and a bridge, and I'll have to research to tell you which street this is, but it's running north and south, so it's likely coming from Coming from Highway 79 south toward Pflugerville. I don't know if you can see them, but the birds love to fly beneath the bridge here. Not sure if they're swallows or what you would call them. Some of the bridges actually have, oh, there's a bunch of them with nests up on the beam there. Let's see if I can get a close-up shot there. So apparently this is their home, and they either nest or roost along the bridge there and probably fly around catching bugs or what have you. Some of the bridges with a different design actually have a lot of bat colonies in the area, but they generally don't like this type of bridge with the beams and the way they're separated there. Interesting. Well, I am surprised. Guess where the trail does come out? It comes out right beside the Kalihari Resort, and it's become a very popular resort. In fact, my wife and I went there for the first time about a week ago just to check it out. We'll have a relative coming in who's going to stay there for a night or so in the middle of the month, and it's really nice inside. Some nice restaurants, very nice hotel, gigantic water park. I think they have 4 or 5 of them around the country. I know one is in the Wisconsin Dells and some other places, but it's this is the back end of the resort, and it has pools for the hotel guest as well as a separate indoor water park that you pay separately for to get in. They have a huge arcade for the kids. It's all connected through inside area, kind of like in Vegas. You know, they have a lot of shops and stores and arcades and restaurants and stuff like that. So it's a really neat facility. And just on the other side of Kalihari Resort is the Dell Diamond, baseball diamond, and it's one of the nicest minor league baseball diamonds that I've heard of. It's a great place to go watch minor league baseball. So here we have it. Now, interesting. I didn't realize this trail actually came out at the Kalihari Resort. So there you go, on the east side of the trail, Kalihari Resort.
How you doing?
Hi. Well, I thought I was coming out on a walk on a cloudy day when I left the house, but as you can tell, the sun is out, so it's probably at least 90-95 degrees right now. Pretty high humidity because of the rain yesterday, but I'll survive. It's just not as cloudy as I had hoped for. Got to meet another nice gentleman on a bike. Had an injury some time back, so he's riding. He's doing like me. He's taking the older fart method of bike riding, not hitting any, not trying to do any cross-country jumps or anything. But it's nice to see folks like that on the trail. I don't know if you can see it, but somebody put a little birdhouse, a big birdhouse, up on that tree. And I'm wondering if it was intentionally made for owls, because it has a bigger hole, and owls like to nest in places like that. So who knows? Maybe you come down here later in the afternoon or early evening, you might hear the hoot owls singing a few tunes. All right, good timing. The sun has gone behind a cloud, probably for only a few seconds, but thought I'd take advantage of it and let you know we're headed west on the Brushy Creek Trail. You're headed toward the Rabb house and Rabb playground, and nice, a little nicer when the sun's not beating down on you, but nice either way. I love walking. It's I hate jogging. I love walking and hiking. Bike riding, not bad. But don't ask me to jog. That ain't gonna happen. Too old for that. Well, we're going west here, just before the concrete railroad monoliths. But take you down by the creek again. Hope you could hear those bird sounds a few seconds ago. Quite a few birds in this park. Really pretty part of the creek here. Especially that overhanging tree over the water and the rocks. Very scenic. Just noticed on one of the concrete railroad piers that it appears to have a year, 1904. I mean, I guess the number could be for something else, but it wouldn't surprise me if it's a year. Who knows? Well, I'm not able to identify every tree, but I'm pretty sure this is either a walnut or pecan tree because you can see the young nuts on the branches. I'm guessing it's probably a walnut tree because pecans are kind of elongated and those are very spherical. So, how old do you think this tree was? Think we can count the rings? I'm just going to take a wild guess here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 18, 19, 20, 30. I bet you was at least 40 years old, maybe older. That was just a quick count of as many rings as I could see. Probably an old, maybe a cedar tree or what? Getting closer to the Rabb playground again and the bridge that we went over. Well, here's another view of Brushy Creek. Surprised how clear the water is and that it's not elevated. Apparently when it rained yesterday, probably didn't rain in the headwaters of this creek, otherwise it would be a little higher level than it is. And here we are, going across this nice bridge. I like the fact that they it's new, fairly new, but they kept it in kind of a rustic look. So it's a nice, pretty bridge. And I don't know if the planks are real wood. Looks like they are. A lot of times now around here they use what they call rumber, which is a recycled rubber mixed with wood byproducts. And looks like wood, but it's actually mixed with recycled rubber. That one there looks like it's actual pure wood planks. You can kind of get an idea how large the overflow parking lot is. This is the parking area that's right next to the Rabb house. There's other parking immediately in front of the playground, but there are a lot of parking spaces, and even when it's full, some people are able to park off in some grassy areas, not on this side, but on the other side of the playground. But on a Nice weather Saturday. This is a very popular playground and park, so if you want to come and visit, you probably want to get here when it opens. Try to beat the summertime heat and beat the majority of the crowds coming in later. I managed to sneak through a little trail into a very neat area just above the creek. I don't know what those large green plants are. They kind of look like elephant ear plants, but you can see the stream really well here. It's a nice flowing stream right here. There's a view of the Rabb house area, walking up to it from the east side. And I still love those orange flowers over there in front of the house. Gorgeous flowers. A few little pink flowers on this tree. I'm not sure what they're called. They're little dainty flowers, but they're not too many of them, but they're real pretty. Maybe some of you arborists or botanists or whatever category you fit in might know what those are. I'll give you a little sample of the playground area without intruding on any of the kids or families that are playing in it. So kind of give you an idea of how big it is and what they have to offer. Little treehouse area, and here you can see a handicapped swing in this little area here. Looks like the trail continues west from here. I won't follow it in that direction for now, but I'm gonna have to come back another day and see where it leads to. They even have some beautiful trees inside the playground area, so it's a nice shady spot. And that's a gigantic live oak tree, it looks like. Here's the main parking area next to the playground, and I see that the snow cone truck is there. Might actually grab me one. So, I have my Tiger's Blood snow cone. Have snow cone, will travel. That's about it for today here at the Rabb Park Playground. Community house that they have. Really nice park. This area right here is where the kids can actually ride their bikes or scooters in this kiddie town. Again, this is the Rabb Playground Park. Connects to Brushy Creek east part of the trail, just off of A.W. Grimes North, just south of Highway 79. Turn right just past the railroad bridge and you'll find it. Thanks. Take care.
you.